Hey there, we got another one. This is a new one that I just got. Um, I always tell myself I'm going to be done with budget guitars, but I end up keep buying them. This is the Fojill FTL-60. I'm not sure what they were going for with it. Like, is 60 a year that they're going after? Is it just the model number? But it has some cool features. Fogill had some pretty cheap ones on Amazon in the past that were like, I don't know, 80 to $100 or something like that. This one was a little bit more. I think it was like 120. But in the past, they had the truss rod access right here. This one does not. This is one that has the truss rod wheel right here. So it's a wheel that you can easily access to adjust your truss rod. Now, I love this color. They just call it pink. But I got one of Fogill's precision bass with the PJ pickup configuration in this same kind of like, I don't even know what to call this pink. It's like a 50s pink, 1950s pink. And on both the bass and on this telly, it has like an off-white, like a cream white, like a vintage aged white pickguard. I love the design. Now, these are like some kind of stainless steel or chromed saddles. I will be updating those to brass, but the 60 in the name makes me think, 1960s tellies did get this style of chrome or steel saddle. They switched away from the brass, and maybe that's because the brass was too soft of a material, so like the strings over time would dig into the saddles. So Leo eventually swapped to those. Let's go over some specs here. It's supposed to have a mahogany body. I don't know if that's true or not. Mahogany body. It has a roasted maple neck, which is real nice. And it is supposed to have genuine rosewood fingerboard, which I think is accurate. It is also supposed to have a bone nut, which I am very skeptical about looking at. Looking at it, I can't tell if it's bone or not, and I wish there was a way I could figure that out. Maybe if I just gently took a pocket knife to try to shave a corner, maybe that would tell me. It doesn't feel like bone, but again, I've never done this with a bone nut. I get a very little bit coming off. I feel like if it was PVC, I'd be getting more shavings off when I do this. Maybe it is bone. It's definitely harder than PVC. So, at least it's an upgrade from like, I don't know, if you got a really cheap guitar that has the PVC nut, it's a harder material, so that's nice. It has vintage style tuners, closed back tuners, with the oval tuning head. The one thing I don't like is that they are the ones that have the hole right through the shaft. What I would like is split top tuners, because split top tuners, I mean, really, if you have split top tuners, you don't need locking tuners for tuning stability. Um, you would only use the locking tuners really for quick, easy string changes, just to lock it and cut it and tune it. But the split top tuners, I mean, it's just like the idea on a bass. I mean, no one's complaining about tuning stability on a bass with split top tuners. It kind of locks it in there while you have the wraps around it. So, and I've always thought, as long as you install your strings correctly, you really shouldn't have tuning instability with the tuner unless it's really cheap and the gears are really loose. And it's the gears that are slipping. But as far as the way that you install it, if you think that leads to tuning instability, it might just be how you're tuning it. As long as you get a good couple wraps, you get it in there, it's bent around that hole, and you're getting a couple wraps, you shouldn't have any issues with tuning stability. It would just be poor tuners, poor mechanical tuners, which I've never really ran into. So I don't know. I still think I might later on swap out these for some split tops. Saddles to brass, compensated brass saddles, and probably upgrade the pickups and electronics. Overall, the body was in great shape. I don't have any issues. There's no flaws on the body. The neck looks really beautiful with the roasted maple. The rosewood fretboard looks like it's a little dry. The frets are where I start to take an issue, just visually. The frets just look dirty. They just look like it's not like they're scratched or, but they just look, well, they look, here's what the frets look like. They look like they spend a good amount of time at sea in a shipping cargo container with all the saltwater air. They just look slightly tarnished. Like they look dull and a little bit oxidized. That's what they look like. So they could definitely use a polish. Now, the setup. Well, let's see here. The fret ends they're just a tad bit sharp, just a tad. Although they do leave marks on my fingers when I do this. I don't know if you probably can't see the marks that it left on my finger, and my thumb. But yeah, they could be to come down a little bit. The setup is high, but I don't expect anything less anytime I get a budget guitar. The setup is high. I've not changed the strings. These are strings that came on it. So this is stock out of the box. I've made no adjustments to it. I have just acoustically played it a little bit sitting on my couch. But I have not done any other kind of plug-in and play. I will say this, it did come with a gig bag, and the gig bag was more than just a dust cover. There was some foam on the top and bottom and the walls of the gig bag, so it was a decent gig bag. I say decent, not good, just okay. As a beginner player, you would want to have that more than not wanting to have it. The thickness reminds me of the old Fender gig bags that it's actually more of just a top and a bottom with the zip around it rather than having like a wall section in between the top and the bottom. if that makes any sense. The gig bags that you would get with your Squire strap pack, you know, that kind of gig bag, that's the kind of foam. Although this is new, so the foam is still stiff. I would say that level of insulation, which is great for a beginner traveling, you know, with the guitar to lessons and whatnot. It's a lot better than just having a dust cover gig bag. So, gig bag was good. Again, I've not done anything, so I'm going to tune it up, and then we'll plug in and play. And when we do that, we'll check the sounds. Again, stock out of the box, still has the original strings. I've not done anything to it. And I don't know, let's see if it's intonated as well. So let's just do a tuning here. All the strings are very sharp on their intonation, so the saddles need to come back. All of them are very sharp, with the exception of the high E. It's just a little sharp. And these are not compensated saddles. So, you know, right there, that has intonation problems inherently with that. But they're all sharp. It is what it is. Let's plug in and get some sounds out of it. Intonation problems, tuning intonation problems. And I am on the neck pickup currently. I rolled the tone halfway. Let's go to the bridge pickup. That is tone halfway, so let's go tone full. Very bright. Middle, tone full. Neck. Bridge. Middle. It's all right. There's probably no dead spots because the strings are high. But let's go up here. No buzzing frets, but again, it needs a setup. The strings are pretty high, intonation's off. So real quick, let's just throw on the amps reverb. That was middle. Here's neck. Here's bridge. Okay, so now I'm going to throw on the Behringer Fuzz Bender, and it is on the modded. It says original or mod. There we go. It's on the mod, so it's bringing mids out. A lot more thin sounding. That was on the bridge. Here we're on the neck. I'm going to engage my Cinders overdrive, but it's only just to boost it, not to really dirty it up too much. That was bridge. We're going to go to middle. So, that is the Fojill FTL-60 on Amazon. And honestly, time to go check my guitar painting that I got going on in the backyard. Perfect time, because this video has come to an end. The Fojill FTL-60. Beginner guitar? Yeah, absolutely. Modern guitar? For sure. This vintage pink, beautiful. I have some Vintera 2 60s tele pickups coming, and replacement electronics, because I'm sure that these are dime-sized pots and this is a PCB switcher, so we're gonna fix that. Then we'll get the pickups, put those in. I will address the fretboard and the frets. I will put new strings on. I'll put new saddles on it, compensated brass. I will put new tuners, split top vintage closed back tuners, nickel. And yeah, we'll get this thing all rocking and rolling, and we'll come back with a video all about modding it, setting it up, and then test it afterwards. And if I remember, I'll keep some of these sound samples that I did today and A-B them back and forth with sound samples of after. So, peace.